Deal or No Deal is the American version of the international game show of Dutch origin of the same name. The show was hosted by Howie Mandel, and premiered on December 19, 2005, on NBC. The hour-long show typically aired at least twice a week during its run, and included special extended or theme episodes. The show started its fourth season on August 25, 2008, after NBC's coverage of the 2008 Beijing Olympics. A daily syndicated half-hour version of the show debuted on September 8, 2008 and continued for 2 seasons. The game was primarily unchanged from the international format where a contestant chooses one briefcase from a selection of 26. Each briefcase contained a cash value from 1 cent to $1 million. Over the course of the game, the contestant eliminated the other cases, periodically being presented with a deal from the banker to take a cash amount to quit the game. Should the contestant refuse every deal, they were given the chance to trade the original case for the only other one left in play, and won whatever money was in the chosen case after this possible exchange. Special variations of the game, including a $1 million mission introduced in the 3rd season, were also used, as well as a tie-in with a viewer lucky case game. The show was a success for NBC, typically averaging from 10 to 16 million viewers each episode in the first season, although the subsequent seasons only averaged about 5 to 9 million viewers each episode. It led to the creation of tie-in board, card, and video games, as well as a syndicated series played for smaller dollar amounts. The show went on hiatus in early 2009, and its Friday night time slot was replaced with Mandel's other series Howie Do It. It was announced on the show's official site that Deal or No Deal would return with new episodes on Monday, May 4. These remaining 4 were taped in September 2008, and aired on 3 consecutive Mondays, May 4, May 11, and the final 2 on May 18. Gameplay: Deal or No Deal is played by one contestant at a time. Prior to each game, 26 cash amounts ranging from 1 cent to $1 million printed on rectangular boards are each randomly placed inside one of 26 briefcases by a third party. Each briefcase displays a number on the outside of the case from 1 to 26. Once the show begins, Howie Mandel announces ladies, please, and 26 female models, each carrying one briefcase and wearing the same outfit, make their way onto the steps of the multi-tiered stage. The contestant then selects one briefcase to be his or her briefcase to begin the game. When the briefcase is selected by the contestant, the model of the briefcase chosen brings the briefcase down and hands it to Mandel, who then places it on the contestant's podium. Through a series of rounds, the contestant is asked to select a number of the other cases still in play. Each case is opened and the cash value inside the case is revealed before it is taken out of play. A large electronic board displaying 2 columns of cash amounts is used to track which dollar amounts still remain in play, with the amounts already open being struck off the board. After completing the selection of cases for that round, the banker, a silhouette figure lit only dimly from behind in an enclosed glass booth overlooking the stage, will phone down to the host's wireless phone on the podium. The banker and host will converse and the host will then inform the player of the banker's deal or cash offer, the amount of which depends on the values of the cases remaining in play, in exchange for leaving the game. Via phone, and is said to calculate the offers. The producers actually do the calculations. The calculation is essentially the average value of the remaining briefcases slightly higher or lower depending on the contestant's progress. The host opens a clear plexiglass flip-top box on the contestant's podium exposing a large flashing red electronic button. If the player accepts the deal, he or she presses the button to end the game and win the amount of the deal, otherwise, the player declares no deal. The player closes the flip-top box, requiring the player to continue into the next round of the game. Each round progressively removes fewer cases from the game. The first round begins with 6 cases to be removed, the second round with 5, diminishing subsequently until the final rounds requiring the removal of 1 case at a time. If lower amounts are removed, the offers will increase. Likewise, if upper amounts are removed, the offers will decrease. In early rounds, the banker's offers typically represent a small percentage of the average value of all the remaining cases. From round to round, the percentage generally increases, sometimes exceeding 100% toward the end of the game. Should the player refuse the final banker's offer, with the selected case and one other case left in play, the player is given the opportunity to swap cases, values unseen, and win whatever case they end up keeping at that point. This offer, and its mention when delivering the final offer, is often unaired on television. Only 3 contestants have ever swapped cases, and none in active play. All of them would swap for one of the 2 highest amounts. If the player takes one of the first 8 offers, the host usually encourages the player to play through to the end to see what would have happened, unless time runs short or the highest value remaining is eliminated, when the remaining cases are opened all at once. If the game is still in progress when airtime ends, the game carries over to the following episode, though this was a much rarer occurrence in the second half of the show's run. During the first 2 seasons, there were even 2 instances of the revealing of a selected case carried over to the next episode. After the second round, family and friends of the contestant are usually introduced and are allowed to contribute advice and encouragement to the contestant, including which case to pick next and whether to accept a deal or not. Often, special guest stars are present in the audience, typically related to the contestant's interests or background. For example, Celine Dion appeared and supported a player who was a big fan, while the Season 2 Christmas special featured Big Bird of the children's television show Sesame Street assisting a player who had a childhood fear of the character. Perhaps the most noteworthy special guest, however, was when Bobby Generic made an appearance for a contestant who requested he make an appearance. A show typically only features the play of one contestant, but on occasion, contestants who do not finish their game continue into the next show. The rollover format, also known as straddling, was more prominent early in the series' run. Several shows have been themed based on the contestant's background, a holiday, or other situation. For example, all the cases were replaced by trash cans when the contestant was a garbage man, and one episode was considered Ladies' Night, as the regular models were replaced with male firefighters from the Los Angeles and San Diego fire departments. In some cases, the banker will add to the offer a special prize, including both valuable prizes such as vehicles or dream packages customized for the contestant, as well as gag gifts such as a supply of cotton swabs or donuts, and may require an additional stipulation for the deal. In one instance, an additional cash prize was attached to the deal if the contestant would cut off his beard. There were some college spring break episodes that aired during the series. Sometimes, amounts on the board may be substituted with other prizes such as a Ford F-250 truck in place of the $50,000 amount on the January 14, 2008 episode. Models: Deal or No Deal has 26 models who bring various amounts of money from 1 cent to $1 million or higher. Here are the 26 permanent models of Deal or No Deal for all 4 seasons. Payout Structure: On Deal or No Deal, the values hidden in the 26 briefcases typically range from 1 cent to $1 million. Other payout structures: $1,500,000 money tree $2 million money tree $2,500,000 money tree $3 million money tree $4 million money tree $5 million money tree $6 million money tree double deal Game formats scratch-off lottery tickets Several U.S. states have or had some kind of deal or no deal scratch-off ticket, with the top prize determined by each lottery. Non-winning tickets may be used to enter a sweepstakes for a variety of prizes, including a chance to be on the game show. Scheduling and ratings: seasonal rankings of Deal or No Deal on NBC. Note: each U.S. network television season starts in late September and ends in late May, which coincides with the completion of May sweeps. All times mentioned are in the Eastern and Pacific time zones. Season 1 Early ratings for the show were extremely encouraging. According to Zap to It, all 5 shows, during the week beginning December 19, 2005 and ending December 25, 2005, finished in the top 15 among total viewers. peaking with 14.1 million people watching the Wednesday, December 21, 2005 installment. For the week, Deal or No Deal averaged about 12.7 million viewers and a solid 4.3 rating in the adults 18 to 49. The show appeared again on NBC each night February 27, 2006 through March 3, 2006 at 8 p.m. Eastern Time PT, with the top prize escalating until the prize reached $3 million. As of 306, the show settled into regular time slots at 8 p.m. Mondays and Fridays, with the top prize returning to its original $1 million. Wednesday episodes were added at 8 p.m. due to the show's consistent ratings success. In something of a ratings coup, the 406th episode of the show, a 2-hour special, outperformed the NCAA basketball tournament final in a head-to-head competition. During both of the 2-hour shows, the second hour scored even higher ratings than the first. Since it became a regular series, Deal or No Deal consistently placed within the 20 most popular programs on television, at times attaining the top 10. The 606th 2-hour season finale, which featured Celine Dion via satellite, marked a series high rating for the program, bringing in over 18 million viewers and a strong 5.5 share in the 18 to 49 demographic. The episode was easily the highest-rated show on any network for the week of 606 through 606, outdistancing the number 2 show, a repeat episode of CSI, by almost 6 million viewers. The finale experienced similar success in Canada, with 1.5 million viewers tuning in. Season 2 the show returned with new episodes in September 2006, airing on Mondays and Fridays at 8 p.m. and Thursdays at 9 p.m. the latter time slot being perhaps the most competitive in U.S. television, as Deal or No Deal faced a pair of big hit series in the CBS program, CSI, and ABC program, Grey's Anatomy. Deal's Thursday time slot had initially been intended for Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip when NBC announced its fall schedule. However, the need to protect the new series against stiff ratings competition caused repercussions throughout the network's primetime grid, including a move on May 25 of Deal from its announced Friday time slot to Thursdays. The drama Crossing Jordan, which had been planned for a mid-season run, was to be brought into the Friday lineup in what would have been Deal's second weekly time slot. However, after Deal or No Deal completed airing special episodes and that time slot to success, NBC moved Crossing Jordan back to mid-season and used Deal on Fridays as well to help launch a sister series, 1 vs. 100. The show premiered with a 2-hour edition on September 18, 2006, and 1-hour episodes that each aired on September 19, 2006, September 21, 2006 and September 22, 2006. The show used a $21 million prize pot over the first week to kick off Season 2 of the game, coupled with the at-home Lucky Case game for $1 million. During the season premiere week in 2006, the main game had maximum amounts start at $1 million, and increased $1 million for each game, up to $6 million. The top prize case was only chosen once by contestant Matty Salina on the season premiere. He took the deal for $675,000, but his case contained the top prize of $3 million. According to final Nielsen ratings for the week of September 18, 2006 to September 24, 2006, the second season premiere episode of Deal or No Deal on Monday, September 18, 2006 with Matty Salina was the 11th most watched network primetime show in total audience and NBC's most watched program in total audience. The Friday episode of the show also did well in the ratings and won its time slot against the other networks. The Tuesday and Thursday episodes suffered from tough competition, Dancing with the Stars, Grey's Anatomy and CSI. The success of Deal or No Deal was a factor in NBC's decision to program another endemol game, 1 vs. 100, which premiered on October 13, 2006 and assumed Deal's Friday night time slot on October 27, 2006. Meanwhile, NBC announced the Thursday episodes would end with the 11:06 episode, to be replaced by sitcoms Scrubs and 30 Rock. Through all these changes, the Monday night edition of Deal continued to win its time slot by a large margin. On Monday, October 30, 2006, for instance, Deal won its time slot with a 10.3 household rating and 16% share, easily outdistancing second-place Prison Break at 5.6/8. During the November sweeps period, the ratings for Deal or No Deal on Thursday grew slightly despite heavy competition in the time slot. NBC moved the second weekly episode of Deal or No Deal to Wednesday at 9 p.m. as of January 2007, and also added a few episodes at 7 p.m. Sundays in hopes of giving a boost to its new post-football lineup. NBC announced on February 16, 2007 that the second airing would move from Wednesdays to Sundays at 9 p.m. starting 307. In March, the Monday Deal fell to second place in the time slot, behind the debuting fourth edition of ABC's Dancing with the Stars, the first edition of that show to include a Monday episode. Season 3 Following a season premiere episode on Monday, Deal vacated its stable Monday night home in a last-second decision by NBC to give the time slot to a drama series, Chuck, for which it had high hopes. Deal moved to a Wednesday-Friday schedule, pushing 1 vs. 100 to mid-season. Both airings tended to win their time slot in total viewers, with the Friday edition also winning in adults 18 to 49 and the Wednesday edition placing second in the demographic behind ABC's Pushing Daisies. NBC replaced the Wednesday airings for 5 weeks with a short-run reality series, Phenomenon, starting in late October. The new series' initial ratings were lower than what Deal was delivering. Due to the 2007 Writers Guild of America strike, Deal's Friday edition moved back to Monday in January 2008, temporarily replacing Chuck. The Friday time slot was filled by the returning 1 vs. 100 for 7 episodes. The Monday edition of the show ranked number 28 with a 7.1 rating, tying it with Cold Case. Season 4 The fourth season began on August 25, 2008 with host Mandel stating prior to the season premiere that there would be at least one millionaire in the season. The beginning of the fourth season also marked the return of an audience competition. The new Beat the Banker game brought back the interactivity from past seasons, with home viewers being able to win $10,000 per show. The following week, Jessica Robinson became the first winner with a $1 million top prize. Robinson appeared during the $1 Million Mission, and in her game had 5 cases containing the $1 million prize. Robinson turned down a final bank offer of $561,000, keeping her cashier number for €1, and won $1 million. After Robinson won, the $1 Million Mission restarted with 2 $1 million cases on the board, and played until the second $1 million prize was awarded to Tamara Rodriguez on October 29, 2008 with 9 $1 million cases on the board. Her highest offer was $677,000, with 3 of the 4 cases still in play at the time containing $1 million and the other containing $300. By eliminating the $300 case, which was in case number 15, she automatically won the top prize with fewer than 9 offers having been made. Deal or No Deal aired its 200th episode celebration on November 3 with a series of 4 speed round games with 4 different contestants. However, NBC aired this episode out of order, and in reality only 186 episodes had aired at this point. In the episode, the contestant chose all the cases to open for a round at once and they were opened right away. They only had 20 seconds to accept a bank offer or not. If time ran out, it was an automatic no deal. After accepting a bank offer, the contestant's case was immediately opened without playing on to find out what would have happened had he declined the offer. 6 contestants between November 7 and December 29 had a chance to play for $2 million with the same board scene as the September 2006 premiere week. Unlike double deal episodes, only the $750,000 and $1 million were changed instead of doubling the contents of all 26 cases. Only one contestant, Ashley Ott, would choose this higher top prize. She sold her tray for $260,000, and her final hypothetical offer was $1,100,000. The last game in this run contained a carryover contestant, Diane Jorgensen. After 4 months, Season 4 continued on May 4 with the remainder of the game, taped separately from the first half. The reason why this episode was not chosen to finish the previous run is unknown. The 273rd and final contestant for Season 4, aired as part of the 2-hour de facto series finale on May 18, 2009, eliminated all of the values on the right side of the board in 18 picks and received no bank offers higher than $22,000. With $300 as the highest prize remaining, she sold her $5 case for $100. Towards the end of the series finale, the banker truly revealed himself as none other than Peter Abay, who has been playing the banker for 4 seasons. On May 19, 2009, it was announced that the 4th season would be the last primetime season of the show. The syndicated show continued for one additional season before it ended its run in 2010. Cable NBC's sister business network, CNBC, aired episodes of the premiere week of Deal or No Deal starting on December 26, 2005, scoring above-average ratings for the network. The show has been blacked out in Canada on that station due to programming rights issues in that country, and Canadian viewers were shown CNBC World programming instead. The show began to rerun again on CNBC during the week of February 6, 2006 until June 9, 2006. CNBC also programmed the second week-long series of the show, but the sequence started 2 shows behind the airings on NBC. For Season 2, following a marathon of its premiere week, CNBC announced that Deal or No Deal re-airings would be back on Saturday nights starting October 14, 2006 at 8 p.m., 11 p.m., and 3 a.m. In addition, reruns aired on CNBC every Tuesday and Wednesday at 8 p.m., 11 p.m., and 1 a.m. The reruns are not necessarily repeats of the most recent episodes many of these episodes are selected at random, and may have been previously seen several months after its initial broadcast. Additionally, reruns have sporadically aired on Game Show Network started airing reruns of the show in production order. In Canada, Metropolis also airs the series, starting with the February 2006 premiere week of episodes. The 5-episode run of Canadian shows were also aired on Metropolis in August 2007. Syndicated version, a daily half-hour syndicated version debuted on September 8, 2008, with Mandel as host. The format is similar to the UK version. The syndicated version has a top prize of $500,000, hidden in one of the 22 cases held by contestants. The show only featured 2 of the original 26 case models, Tamika Jacobs and Patricia Cara. Originally, Arsenio Hall was intended to host, but was ultimately passed over. Other candidates included Street Smarts host Frank Nicotero, but it was finally decided to keep Mandel as host. This version lasted 2 seasons, ending in May 2010 due to declining ratings. Deal or No Deal is played by 1 contestant at a time, 5 contestants per week with 22 contestants per week trying to play. Prior to each game, $22 amounts ranging from 1 cent to $500,000 are distributed by a third party among 22 briefcases. The values are unknown by the host or the banker. The cases are then randomly presented to 22 contestants. The game begins with the models spinning the deal wheel, a wheel with 22 numbers that correspond to the numbers on the cases. A golden ball is placed in the wheel and as it spins, the ball bounces around inside the wheel to various numbers. When the wheel stops, whichever number the ball lands is the case number selected. The contestant's case is then placed on a podium. The player has the opportunity to either keep the case that they have or swap with one of the 21 remaining cases. The only exception to this rule was when Evian has been a sponsor on the show and the models would spin a bottle of Evian water to determine the contestants for that particular week. During special themed weeks, the logo sponsoring is shown on the wheel as well. Through a series of rounds, the contestant is asked to select a number of the other cases still in play. Each case is opened and the value revealed before it is taken out of play, and a large electronic board is used to track which dollar amounts still remain in the game. After completing the selection of cases for that round, the banker, a silhouette figure lit only dimly from behind in a box overlooking the stage, will call down to the host using a phone on the podium. The host will then tell the player of the banker's offer a cash value that depends on the values of the cases remaining in play, in exchange for leaving the game. The host opens a plexiglass case on the podium containing a button. If the player accepts the deal, he or she presses the button to end the game, otherwise, he or she closes the case and declares no deal, requiring the player to continue into the next round. Each round progressively removes fewer cases from the game. The first round begins with 5 cases to be removed, the second round with 5 more, then 4, 2, 2, and subsequently down to removing 1 case at a time. The banker's offers typically depend on the interaction between the player and himself, as well as what amounts were removed. If lower amounts are removed, the offers will increase. Likewise, if upper amounts are removed, the offers will decrease. Sometimes, they represent a small percentage of the average value of all the remaining cases. From round to round, the percentage generally increases, sometimes exceeding 100% toward the end of the game. Should the player make it to the final round, with a selected case and 1 other case left in play, they may take the final offer or win whatever is in the case they kept. If the player takes a deal prior to the final round, the host usually encourages the player to play through to the end to see what would have happened. Only 1 player plays for the entire show. Case values equals deals $10 K giveaway equals. The syndicated version also has a lucky case game called Deals $10 K giveaway, playing for $10,000 cash. Unlike the primetime version, the contest lasts all week, and viewers participate by calling a toll-free number. There are also 5 regular cases rather than 6 gold cases. The contest is designed as an advertisement for the Deal or No Deal Club, a club where shoppers could get special discounts for a monthly fee at dealornodellclub.com. In Season 2, this was changed to Deal Mania, giving away a $1,000 prize rather than $10,000 cash. The contest works almost exactly like Deal's $10 K giveaway, except that viewers can enter 5 times a day by calling the toll-free number or an unlimited number of times at mydealmania.com. Deal Mania is also played every weekday and holds weekend sweepstakes as well. History originally, Mandel planned not to host the syndicated version, as his asking price to host it, in addition to the primetime NBC version, was considered to be outside of the production budget. Arsenio Hall was first considered to be the host, and even taped a pilot for the syndicated version, but was later passed over. According to rumors, Mark Curry and Frank Nicotero were also among the candidates. NBC also had concerns that the syndicated show would harm the primetime show, as Who Wants to Be a Millionaire had suffered from overexposure. However, the syndicated version debuted September 8, 2008, with Mandel as host. Initially, NBC planned to package this program with the program partners produced Merv Griffin's Crosswords for its first season, as its owned and operated stations were already airing Crosswords and were picking up Deal or No Deal as well. However, this was later scrapped after Crosswords abruptly stopped production after its first season and most, if not all, of the NBC O&Os aired Deal or No Deal in a double-run format. As Deal or No Deal became an exclusively syndicated show for the 2009 Euro 10 season, major changes were made to the show. The show moved from the Culver Studios in Culver City, California to the Sonalist Studios in Waterford, Connecticut, as part of a corporate decision in which 4 NBC Universal Television distribution shows moved to Connecticut. The entire set was shipped east, but scaled down to fit the studio. The show was also to be taped in high definition, the 4th current game show to be taped in the format, joining Jeopardy! Wheel of Fortune! And The Price is Right. However, this did not occur. Reruns on October 18, 2010, GSN picked up the rights to air reruns of the syndicated version of Deal or No Deal. The show was pulled from the schedule for a short time, but then returned to a weekend run. The network resumed airing reruns of the syndicated version in March 2014. Production notes: The original pilot was produced for ABC in early 2004 with Irish TV personality Patrick Healty as host and a $2.5 million top prize. It was announced that the show would premiere in March 2004, but ABC decided against airing the series. The first season was taped at Sunset Gower Studios in Los Angeles. However, early episodes were taped at CBS Television City in Hollywood. Seasons 2 through 4 were taped at the Culver Studios. The second syndicated season was taped at the Sonalist Studio in Waterford, Connecticut. Episodes had a tendency to be themed around the contestant depending upon information the production team obtained on them. Mandel stated that this was done to make the contestant feel comfortable. However, critics cited an over-reliance by the series on contestant-based theme shows. Special versions NBC and Endemol had produced a Spanish-language version which debuted October 8, 2006 on their Telemundo Spanish-language channel. Titled Vas o no Vas, but titled on the English-language closed captioning Take It or Leave It, this version was hosted by copyright Sandati, who also hosted the Mexican version of the same name for Televisa. The top prize was $250,000. The episode that aired on November 5, 2006 saw a contestant win $180,500 in a Ford F-150 for a total of over $200,000, an all-time record for an American-based Spanish-language game show. However, this version was not as successful as the English version and was not renewed for a second season. After the conclusion of Super Bowl XLI on February 4, 2007 global in Canada, Deal or No Deal Canada, a special Canadian version of Deal or No Deal, would debut. This version of the show, taped January 23, 2007 to January 25, 2007 in Toronto, features Howie, a Toronto native, as host. The series ran for 5-hour-long episodes. Applications for auditioning were very similar to the NBC version, except that no videos are required. The $400,000 was removed and had a toonie put on the left side. Since Howie started filming again in Canada for Howie Do It, rumors have been spreading that Deal or No Deal Canada may be returning as a real Canadian series and even a syndicated Canadian version, though it never resurfaced. Also in Canada, TVA has produced a French-Canadian version of Deal or No Deal called Le Banquier, named after the mysterious figure that contestants must make deals with to obtain as much money as possible. The show, which is practically the same as the US version, has 26 cases with a $500,000 top prize, although there was one game where it was increased to $750,000. The only difference is that the models on the top row are men. All US and Canadian editions are produced by Endemol USA, with the US and Canadian English versions both using Scott St. John as executive producer and a Brian D. Rowe as director. Hiatus. In January 2009 the primetime version was put on hiatus, with the series returning on May 4 to air its final few episodes. Metropolis stopped showing the primetime and syndicated versions. CNBC has aired reruns of the primetime version in the past. In an attempt to reduce costs and continue broadcasting the program, NBC and Endemol USA, the D&D production company, negotiated a new arrangement that moved production of Deal or No Deal from Culver City, California to Waterford, Connecticut during the summer of 2009 in favor of significant tax credits provided by the state of Connecticut. While Mandel and both of the show's models remained, much of the behind-the-scenes crew from the West Coast production remained in Los Angeles and were not involved in the East Coast production. References. External links, official website, USA Today Q&A with Howie Mandel, Deal or No Deal at the Internet Movie Database, Deal or No Deal at TV.com.